guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to learn how to make this chevron mesh dress. This is going to be part of the chevron mesh collection that already consists of shorts or pants as well as the skirt, and now we have the dress, and then later on we shall be adding to that collection, but for now we have 3 pieces part of that collection. You can either use a variegated yarn or you can use a plain color. This is the same exact yarn that we used for some of our previous videos. That is the chevron mesh pants as well as the chevron mesh skirt. And then it's the same yarn that we used for the vintage dress and the pleated gown, the pleated skirt. So many projects, and I'll be leaving them in the description box below so that if you want to try them out, you can go and click on those links and give them a try. So for this yarn, this is Alize Cotton Gold Batik, and it's a variegated yarn. I used approximately 7 balls of yarn to make the whole dress. And then you also need a measuring tape. You will need a 4mm crochet hook, a darning needle, and a pair of scissors. And if you would like the written pattern, it's already available on all my online shops. And I'll be leaving the link on the screen as well as the description box below. So let's get into the video. Alright, so you're going to grab your yarn that you're going to use for the main body, and you're going to start off with a slip knot. And you're going to make a chain. I'll be recommending a number of chains for the different sizes. For me, I'm going to demonstrate for a size medium, and I am going to start off with a chain of 192. So your chain should be an even multiple of 16. That means when the chain is divided by 16, you should be able to get an even number. So for me, that is 192 divided by 16, that's a total of 12. So your starting chain should be an even multiple of 16. So I'm starting off with a chain of 192. Alright guys, I have my 192 chains, and the reason why I do beyond my hip circumference that I am considering for this design is because this is a chevron pattern, so eventually it's going to shrink down to a smaller size. So since I'm making for a size medium, I am making 192 chains for the start, and then I am going to go into the very first chain and insert my hook and place a slip stitch. So pull through all. So this will create a circular loop. We're now going to go onto row 1, and to start row 1, you're going to make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet, chain 1. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then skip the next chain, which is this one, and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip the next chain and double crochet into the next. Alright, after the 3 stitches, it's now time for us to create a peak, and you're going to make a chain of 1 and skip over the next chain, and into the next you're going to place a total of 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. This is the second, the third, and the fourth. So we have a total of 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces in the same stitch. So from here you're going to make a chain of 1, skip over the next chain and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip over the next chain and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip over the next chain and double crochet into the next. So once you have 3 stitches after the stitches that make the peak, it's time for us to create a valley. So to create a valley, you're not going to make a chain of 1 this time. You're going to just yarn over skip over a total of 1, 2, 3 chains, and into the fourth you directly go in there and place a double crochet. So this is how the valley looks like, and this is what the peak looks like. So this pattern is made of peaks and valleys. And now you're going to make a chain of 1 and double crochet after skipping 1 chain. So chain 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next. So once you have 3 stitches after the valley, so the valley is here, you have 1, 2, 3. And now it's time for us to create another peak. So you're going to make a chain of 1, skip over 1 chain, and into the next chain you're going to create a peak by placing a total of 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces into the same exact chain. So after a double crochet you make a chain of 1, and we want a total of 4 double crochets in the same stitch, but make sure after a double crochet you make a chain of 1. So that's the peak. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, skip 1 chain, double crochet into the next chain, chain 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next chain, chain 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next chain. So once you have a total of 1, 2, 3 stitches after the stitches that make the peak, it's time for us to create a valley. So you don't make a chain of 1 this time. You're just going to skip over 3 chains, and into the fourth you directly go in there with a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth you're going to double crochet there once. So that's the repeat for this round, which is round 1, and you can see the peaks and valleys. You can see the work is creating a chevron-like look. So you're going to go all the way around, repeating this. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next. If you had a valley before, just as we have here, that means after 3 stitches, you're going to create a peak. So for a peak, you make a chain of 1, skip 1 chain, and into the next chain, you're going to create a peak by placing a total of 4 double crochets all in the same chain, but make sure every double crochet is separated by a chain 1 space. So once you're done with your 4 double crochets in the same stitch separated by chain 1 spaces, you're going to make a chain of 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1 chain, double crochet into the next chain, chain 1, skip 1 chain, and double crochet into the next chain. So this will bring us to 3 stitches after the stitches that make the peak, these stitches that are placed in the same chain. So 1, 2, 3, and it's time for us to create a valley. So you yarn over, skip over 3 chains, and into the fourth you're going to place a double crochet, and that's how a valley is created. So go all the way around creating peaks and valleys, as you can see here, and I'll meet you back towards the end of round 1. Alright guys, I've made it all the way around, and you can see the pattern of peaks and valleys already formed. And since I started with 192 chains, I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 peaks and valleys. So if you started with 160, you should have a total of 10 peaks and valleys. If you started with, just make sure you have an even number of peaks and valleys. So I've come to the end, and this was a peak, as you can see here. And now I have my 3 stitches after the peak, the stitches that make the peak, these ones that are placed in 1 stitch. I have a total of 1, 2, 3, and thank goodness the next color has started popping up. So after this double crochet here, it's time for us to create a valley because this is a peak. So I have 3 chains left, and I will just skip over them after this double crochet, and I will slip stitch into the 3rd chain of the first chain 4 of the round. Just slip stitch there. That way we have created a valley at the end of the round. And this is what your work will look like. So we are going on to row 2, and from now onwards we are now going to place the stitches in the chain 1 spaces, as you'll see later on. So round 2 is going to be the round that we are going to keep repeating until we get the length of the dress from the base all the way to the bust. So pay attention to this round. After you slip stitch, you're going to slip stitch into the chain 1 space, and don't forget we are working in the same direction as the previous round always. So we've placed a slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, slip stitch into the next double crochet, and then slip stitch into the next chain 1 space. So this will bring us to the second space after the valley. So the valley is here, we have 1 space, and this is the second one. So you're going to make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, and then double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and then chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space. And this will bring us to, you can see the next stitches are going to be placed in the middle space of the peak. Remember, the peak has a total of 4 stitches that are placed in the same chain, which creates a middle space, and that's where we're going to create our next peak for this round. So we have 1, 2, 3 stitches because the chain of 4 counts as a double crochet chain 1. So we have 1 double crochet here, another one, and another one. So you're going to make a chain of 1, and then into that middle space of the 4 stitches from the previous round, you're going to go in there with a total of 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. So this is 1, chain 1, 2, chain 1, 3, chain 1, and 4. So we have our 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces in the same space. And then you're going to make a chain of 1 into the next chain 1 space. You're going to place a double crochet, chain 1 into the next chain 1 space, double crochet, chain 1 into the next chain 1 space. You're going to double crochet. So since we have a total of 3 stitches after the stitches here that are placed in the same stitch or space, sorry, you have 1, 2, 3 stitches. It's time for us to create a valley, and this time round you're going to just skip over a total of 4 stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then into the next chain 1 space you're going to place a double crochet. Make sure you don't chain 1 in between, you just directly go into the next space after skipping over the 4 stitches. So that way we have created a valley for round 2. So this will count as our very first stitch after the valley. So chain 1 into the next chain 1 space, you're going to place a double crochet, chain 1, skip the next stitch and double crochet into the next. So we have a total of 3 stitches after the valley, and that means in the next space we are going to place our 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. So make a chain of 1, and into the next space you're going to place a total of 4 double crochets, each separated by a chain 1 space. Okay, so this is what we have, and you can see the 4 stitches are placed in the middle space of the previous 4 stitches from the previous round. So from here you're going to make a chain of 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space. So once you have 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, after the 4 double crochets that are placed in the same space, 1, 2, 3, it's time for us to create a valley. So after the double crochet here, you're going to skip over a total of 4 stitches, and in the next chain 1 space you're going to place a double crochet. So 1 2 3 4, yarn over, 1 2 3 4, and into the next chain 1 space you're going to place a double crochet to create a valley, and then chain 1, double crochet into the next, chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space. This is what you have, and then you're going to make a chain of 1. You have 3 stitches after the valley, and into the next chain 1 space you're going to place your 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces. And just like that, we've created our next peak. So we are continuing to maintain the peaks and valleys, as you can see here. And you're going to make a chain of 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space. So that brings us to a total of 3 stitches after the 4 stitches that are placed in the same space. So you're going to yarn over, skip over a total of 1 2 3 4 stitches, and into the next chain 1 space you're going to double crochet. So that creates the valley. We're going to repeat this pattern all the way around until you come to the beginning of the round, and I'll show you how to wind up round 2. Alright guys, we're coming to the end of round 2, and you can see another color has popped up within the process, and I've just finished placing the 4 double crochets of the last peak of the round, and I've made a chain of 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and that will bring us to 3 stitches, 3 double crochets after the 4 double crochets in the same space. So we have 1 2 3, and now we have a total of 1 2 3 and 4 stitches before the very first chain 4 of the round. So you're going to skip over all this, and after this double crochet you're going to directly insert your hook into the 3rd chain of the first chain 4 of the round and place a slip stitch. And that's how we wind up round 2. And this is the round that we are going to keep repeating again and again. I'm going to demonstrate the beginning one more time so that you get it right, but the ending is still going to be the same. So remember round 2, this we are done with round 2, so we're going to repeat round 2 again and again. So right now I'm on round 3, and it should resemble round 2. So you slip stitch into the next chain 1 space, slip stitch into the next stitch, and slip stitch into the next chain 1 space. This should bring us to the 2nd space after the last valley. So we have this space, and in the 2nd space you're going to make a chain of 4, which counts as a double crochet chain 1, and then double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and this will bring us to 3 stitches, 1 2 3, because the chain of 4 counts as a double crochet chain 1. And now that means it's time for us to create a peak. So you make a chain of 1 and go into the next chain 1 space with a total of 4 double crochets separated by chain 1 spaces, and that's how you create a peak. The same exact thing that we've done for round 2. So just keep repeating round 2 again and again, and you'll see your work growing and creating peaks and valleys, and also creating that chevron or ripple effect, whatever you wish to call it. And I'm just going to keep working. until my piece can measure from the floor all the way to the underbust. So since I am making a maxi dress right to floor length, I am going to keep working this tube-like structure from the feet all the way to the bust. And then I'll show you how to do the bust shaping and the straps, as well as the shaping around the waist. Alright guys, we ended up doing a total of 70 rounds in order to get from the feet all the way to the underbust. Now when it comes to the upper shaping, I'll be using a solid color because the variegated yarn may be a little bit confusing. While we fill in the gaps for the bust, we do the bust shaping. So I'll be using a plain color, and then later on I'll remove it and use this same exact color, but for demonstration purposes I'll be using this plain color. This is Alize Cotton Gold Solids, and it's a peach color, I believe. So you're going to grab your yarn. Before you do that, you're going to place your work like this so that you don't have a half peak or a half shaping on the edges. You're going to make sure that you have a peak below a peak across. So this is my 70th round. So once you finish your last round, place your work like this so that you have one peak beneath each peak on the top layer. And then you're going to identify the exact middle of your piece. So for me, I have a peak here. This is 1, 2, and 3. And that means the exact middle is this valley here. You're going to mark it with a stitch marker. And what we are going to do, I'm going to be demonstrating on this table so that you can see the shaping of the bust. So this is going to be the deepest part of the bust, this valley. So we are going to fill in this part. You see this? So I'm going to follow this line like this, and then I'm going to write on the table. You see that line that I've made? And then it's going to attach onto this. So we are going to fill in this gap with the same exact stitch, the mesh pattern. This is just for explanation purposes. So we're going to fill in this, and then we're going to go ahead and fill in this part. So you see that slant on the edge. You're going to bring it in and then also fill in here. And that way we shall have created the cups of our piece. So you're going to continue for the larger sizes in case you have more than just this number of peaks. For the middle part of your piece, you're going to just keep working this. You keep building this until this last line is along the edge of the last peak. So for me, this is what I'm going to do, and I'll repeat the same exact thing on this side. I'll fill in this gap and then bring this line as well and fill it in. That way we shall have created the bust, and then we shall create the straps. Okay, so we're going to do this both at the front and at the back of our piece. So you're going to grab your yarn, since I'm using a plain color, you'll be able to see where I've filled in the missing parts to do the bust shaping. So you're going to grab your yarn and go into the space, the middle space of the peak. You're going to attach your yarn here. I'm going to start with this side. So what we are going to do is fill in this part first, and then we shall fill in this one as well. So you're going to attach your yarn and then make a chain of 4 and double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and you're going to repeat this until you have a total of 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to make a chain of 1 and skip over 1 space here. After the valley, skip over 1, chain 1 space and slip stitch into the next chain 1 space. And then slip stitch into the next chain 1 space and make a chain of 1. Turn your work, double crochet into the very first chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and repeat that until you place a double crochet into the last chain space, chain 1 and double crochet into the last chain 4 space. And then you're now going to make a chain of 4. Turn your work and double crochet into the very first space. Actually, here for row 3, you make a chain of 4 and double crochet into the next chain 1 space. You don't go into the very first one. Chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the very last chain 1 space, and at this point you're going to skip over the next chain 1 space on the body of the piece and then go into the top of the peak after making a chain of 1, and you're going to slip stitch into the middle space of the peak of the next peak, which is this one. So let's see what we've done right now. You can see that we have these parts that we were supposed to fill in, and we've finished one of them. We filled in this one, and now it's time for us to fill in the next one. So once you're done here, you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn, pull through, and now it's time for us to fill in this gap all the way from here to this point. So you're going to grab your yarn and then you're going to attach it at this point. Then you're going to make a chain of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to go into the next chain 1 space and place a double crochet. Don't go into the very first one. You're going into the next one, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and then you're going to double crochet into the last chain 1 space, and then make a chain of 1, skip over the middle part of the peak and go into the next chain 1 space, just like that, and then make a chain of 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and repeat that until you place a double crochet into the chain 1 space before the valley. And then you're going to make a chain of 1, skip over 1 chain 1 space after the valley, and into the next chain 1 space you're going to place a slip stitch. And then you're going to slip stitch into the next chain 1 space and then make a chain of 1. Turn your work, double crochet into the very first chain 1 space, chain 1, double crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, and repeat this until you place a double crochet into the last chain 4 space of the previous row. All right, so this is what we have, and then you're going to go onto the next row. You're going to start off with a chain of 4, turn your work, And this time around you're going to go into the very first chain one space with a double crochet, chain one, double crochet into the next chain one space, repeat chain one, double crochet into the next chain one space until you get back to the body of the dress. So chain one, double crochet into the very last chain one space of the previous row, and then make a chain of one, skip over the next chain one space, and into the middle space of the peak on the body of the dress you're going to place a slip stitch. So this is what we have. You can see right now we filled in this space that was small, and then we've also filled in the bigger space, and this is basically it. You're going to make a chain of one and cut your yarn, pull through. So you can see what we have right now. We're going to repeat the same exact process for this part. And then we shall do the same exact thing at the back of the dress. All right, so we are attaching at this peak after the stitch marker that we placed in the middle of the bust. The middle of the bust is here, the lowest point of the bust. So I will attach my yarn here and first fill in this part the same exact way that I've done this one. First fill in the small part and then fill in the bigger part. So this time round, after attaching my yarn, I'm going to turn my work because I have to fill in this area here. So repeat the same exact process as the very first. Bust shaping. And I'll meet you back when I have mine ready. So this is what we have after shaping both sides of the bust. I may actually leave this color to be like this because it looks very beautiful. I may not switch it to this variegated yarn. So this is what we have after shaping the front part of the bust of the dress. So we're going to go onto the back side and repeat the same exact process. So turn your work to the back. We're going to repeat the same exact process for the shaping. You fill in this small gap first and then fill in the bigger one. So what we are doing at the back, we're just mirroring what we did at the front side to have the same exact look both at the front and the back side, and then we shall be back to see what to do next. So this is one side of the piece finished. You can see the bust area is covered as well as the back shaping. So we have the same exact thing going on. So I will do the same exact thing on this side, and I'll be back when both sides are finished. Alright, after creating this shaping on the upper part of the dress, both at the front and at the back, it's time for us to create our straps. And I'm going to use the same exact color. So I'm going to attach my yarn in one of the corners at the front of the dress. And then make a chain of 3 and double crochet into the same exact space. Then chain 3, double crochet into the space between the 2 stitches below. So the chain 3 always counts as a double crochet. So chain 3, double crochet into the space between the 2 stitches below. You're going to repeat that, and you're going to create these scallops. They're like loops. So we are basically going to keep working. For me, I'm going to do a total of 10 segments of this strap and then attach it to the back side of the dress. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I have a total of 10 segments for my strap, and this measures about 8 inches when stretched. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to go onto the top part, the top corner of the opposite shaping, and place a slip stitch there, and then make a chain of 3. We're going to go back onto our strap. So go into the very first segment with a single crochet. This is to make our strap a little bit thicker. So chain 3, single crochet into the next segment. Chain 3, single crochet into the next segment. So you're going to repeat that until you make it all the way across the strap. So I'm placing a single crochet into the very last segment of the strap, and you can see how thick our strap is now. And you're going to make a chain of 3 and slip stitch into the space where you attached your yarn to start working on the segment, on the strap, sorry. So from here you're going to make a chain of 1 and cut your yarn. We have now finished the very first strap, and this is what it looks like. We're going to go onto the second strap and repeat the same exact process that we've done for the first strap. Alright, so we're done with our second strap, and this is what you should have. When it comes to the edging of the dress, I'm going to just leave it as it is so that I don't distort the pattern, but you can go ahead and attach an edging if you wish. For me, I'm going to just go ahead and weave in all my tails. Alright guys, this is the back view of the dress, and I noticed that I have a very wide fitting around the waistline. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cinch it in a little bit so that it can create a perfect fitting for my dress, and I'm going to show you how you can achieve a snatched look. Alright guys, now when it comes to the big fitting around the waist, I'm going to go 12 rows down from here, from the center of the bust, the very last round of the body of the dress before the shaping of the upper part of the dress. I have gone 12 rows below, but you can go either lower or higher depending on the placement of your waistline. Now for me, I'm 12 rows below, and this is the exact middle of the back side of my dress, and I'm going to skip these 2 lines of the chevron stitch, and then I'm going to lace up along this line and this line. So you'll be seeing the bigger picture on the actual piece. So I get these 3 stitches of the peak and lace up. I'm going to do this for a total of about 4 rows, and this is going to gather the midsection of the dress to create a better fitting. But you can leave it loosely fitted if that's the look that you're going for. For me, I wanted a perfect fitting for my dress, and this is only for the people who end up with a big fitting around the waist. If you made a smaller piece, I believe you'll have a perfect fitting, as you can see in the image on the thumbnail, the green version as well as the yellow version. So from here, you're going to just make a chain, a knot, sorry, and let's see the final look of our dress when we have adjusted the fitting around the waistline to create that snatched look.